2. That's the best number for them to call. Again, it's 303-872-5292. And then I'm going to pass this over to Dr. Lansdale, and he can give you a status update.
Good morning. We started receiving patients at about 1 o'clock this morning. Some of the initial patients arrived by police vehicle, and some of the most critically ill were immediately seen and evaluated and taken to surgery. We received a total of 15 patients from this incident, 12 of which had gunshot wounds, 3 of which had some sort of fume chemical exposure. At this point, we've admitted 7 patients to the hospital. 4, as I said, have gone to the operating room emergently, and I'm happy to say that those patients are alive. We've had no fatalities so far. We have 2 pending surgery this morning as well. We've had 4 total patients discharged. We don't anticipate any further patients from this incident, but we're always prepared. As a Level 2 trauma center, we have an internal disaster program that we activated shortly after 1 a.m. And we were able to mobilize trauma surgeons and emergency physicians and staff from the rest of the hospital to attend to our most critically ill patients. And again, I'm happy to say that we've had no fatalities so far. So if I could answer any questions you may have. Most of the injuries were, again, gunshot wounds. They varied from wounds to the chest and abdomen and trunk to also extremity wounds as well. And they appear to be of certainly high caliber. Well, I don't know how you could be prepared for such a thing, but I think the staff did an excellent job. They mobilized, they did what they had to do and what they've been trained to do. And I think at this point they're starting to settle down a little bit. There's an initial program we have here in support staff to kind of go through a debriefing as well and to kind of support not only the patients and the families that we've seen, but also the staff that had to take care of them. At this point, I don't have any information on anybody who's that young that was seen at this facility. There were teenagers here, but we don't have anybody younger than that. Well, we've served this community as a Level 2 trauma center for many years, and I think we're always prepared. This is certainly something outside the scope of what we routinely see. But again, I think they all banded together and did a very, very good job. I think there's a lot of uncertainty at the initial stages, and so there was a lot of chaos at the beginning, but everybody settled down, and we actually took the patients rather rapidly, assessed them, assessed their needs, and many of which were treated immediately and then taken to surgery. Yes, there are. There are 4 in critical condition that I'm aware of at this point. At this point, we think it was some sort of gas, tear gas type situation. We don't have a specific identification at this time, but the patients that we did see had burning skin, burning eyes, burning and irritation to their nose and mouth. Those 3 patients were seen, decontaminated, and actually have been discharged. And I think that there are certainly, this is a very difficult time for a lot of those patients, but we're very optimistic. Again, excellent surgeons here taking care of those patients. At this point, again, no fatalities, but again, we're at a very early stages of this. Again, those in critical condition, the information that I have is that those are gunshot wounds to the neck and torso and abdomen. That's about as far detail as I have at this point. We do have a staging area in the hospital where those families are being received, and we have support counselors available to them as well. Those patients whose family have already been advised and are either at their bedside or awaiting them arriving on the floors. Certainly that's beyond the scope of my forensic knowledge. So I would imagine that, again, we just take care of the life-threatening injuries and wounds. As far as anything forensic, That's beyond the scope of what I do as emergency physician. No. At this point, no. And again, I don't have any updated information on those critically ill patients. I don't have any information on that at this time. We've had 4 patients released. I think there's almost an equitable mix of the type of patients, male, female, that we've received. But again, they're on the younger side, certainly. That's right. Any other questions? Frank Lansville, Lansville. We had a total of 15 patients received from this incident. Thank you.
Sorry, let me make a correction to the phone number I gave out earlier for patients and family. It's 303-873-5292. 873-5292. And that's for family or friends looking for an update on patients that might be here at the hospital. Yes, we're going to do a briefing at 9:30. Yes, we're going to be doing another briefing at 9:30.
All right, this is...
It'll be an update of where we are with the status of the patients. We're not expecting to see any more patients at this time, but it'll be a status on what we know. Any other questions? Okay, great.
All right, this is the spokesperson there for, again, this is the Medical Center of Aurora, and just before that, you heard the latest there from Dr. Frank Lansville. As you look at some file video taken early this morning from the scene of the shooting over at the Century 16 Theater Complex, the Medical Center of Aurora took in 15 patients. 4 of those have been released. They went in, like the other hospitals in town, went into disaster mode, disaster program they call it, where they have trauma surgeons on standby.